distance between you and others. It's going to be warm. Make sure you're hydrated as we're headed towards another record high. I'll let you know how the weekend's shaping up. That's later on in the show. Lisa, back to you.
Thank you, Evan. All right, so we heard from Governor Kay Ivey, we heard from the Alabama Health Department, and we just had a recap from Ken Curtis. But joining me now in studio with a live interview is Dothan Mayor Mark Saliba. Mayor, thank you for coming today to discuss this. So going back to what the governor said, she mentioned that the government can choke small businesses and kind of just choke the local economies, and she wanted to leave it up to the local leaders of the counties to discuss what they wanted to close, what they didn't want to close. So what is your stance after hearing everything?
Well, we have continued to look at that, and we've had numerous conversations with not only with the governor's office as well, but with the other 9 largest cities in the state of Alabama, and each one is probably going to take a little bit of a different stance, only because as the governor said, Decatur's not Dothan and Birmingham is not Mobile, and so we're going to have to take this newest order that's just come out, take a look at the essential and non-essential businesses, see if it is continuing to be within what guidelines we feel is appropriate, and then make our decisions from there. But in the past, we have normally done what the Alabama Department of Public Health has guided us on.
And you may have the same answer here to this next question. This is one that we were getting in for viewers. Granted, Uber is not huge in the area, but there are taxi drivers out there and some people who need to go to those essential businesses that we know of, whether it's grocery stores or pharmacies, they need to get there. So is non-essential considered a taxi driver at all?
Yes, I wish I knew that. I was actually walking over here from the Civic Center listening to Governor Ivey's and did not have the chance to really dive into that. I hope that they're on an essential list so that those that need to stay at home and want to stay at home or just nervous about being out, that they can stay there and get groceries, get drugs from pharmacies and so forth. So I hope they're on that list of essential.
And you also have a conference coming up at 1:30. So can you give a preview of that and who's going to be involved and what may come of it?
Well, at 1:30 today, the largest message I wanted to do was, I've had a few people say, you know, Dothan is just not taking this seriously enough, and that is just wrong. That we take this very, very seriously, and I think the governor did a great job of what I heard, you know, expressing that as well. This is serious time, and what we do for the next week or two will either be beneficial or be detrimental to us as a whole.
And then just before we go, any words of encouragement, especially for those who are very nervous, because this is a very unknown time. There's a lot of uncertainty. Yeah,
I think that is the case, that there's a lot of unknowns here. But just like when we had Hurricane Michael that came through and nearly destroyed most of Dothan, it was unknown how long and how fast we could come back. But this community, in the end, did a great job of coming back.
Mayor Saliba, thank you so much for your time today. The U.S. now has more reported cases of the coronavirus than any other country in the world. There are more than 85,000 across all 50 states, and the death toll is about 1,300. Elise Preston reports from New York City, which remains the epicenter of the pandemic with a quarter of